What are the latest trends in discourse studies? In this video, we will try to explore and know the latest trends in discourse studies. Let's start. Current trends in discourse studies. The most important or trending trend in discourse studies is digital and social media discourse. This type of study focuses on platforms like Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube's, and see how the language of social media users are using, or what kind of language social media users are using. The key themes that can be explored are hashtags, for example, hashtag MeToo or hashtag Black Lives Matter. Memes as political and cultural discourse, short form videos, the language used in short form videos. For example, we can analyze how influencers use storytelling to build personal brands. The next is multimodal discourse analysis or multimodal discourse analysis. This type of analysis focuses on combining text with visuals, audios, gestures, and other layout to see what meanings are they creating or what impact they are creating, and see how these are used to create meanings. For example, there may be trending videos or growth of videos, infographics used to convey different meanings, or mixed media communication to strengthen the messages. For example, we can study how news websites combine headlines, images, and embedded videos to frame a story, how they use or combine all these modes to convey a message or convey meaning. The next trends that can be used for discourse, that can be used in discourse studies, is critical discourse analysis of global issues. As critical discourse analysis focuses on ideology or abuse or use of power, so this can see how power and ideology operate in discourse around global challenges. The topics that can be analyzed or investigated are climate change, migration, gender equality or inequality, post-colonial narratives, and so on. For example, we can compare how different countries' media frame climate protests, how they frame different protests regarding climate change, how they portray the news regarding media change protests. Another trend that can be investigated is corpus-assisted discourse studies. As we have discussed in previous videos, corpus-based assisted that where a large data is analyzed through using machines or computer. It focuses on large data sets with the help of AI-powered tools to find discourse pattern used in particular discourse. The imaging tool that can be used to analyze different data sets is Antcock, Sketch Engine, Voyant tools, NLP-based analysis, and so on. For example, political polarization can be studied to study polarization present in, or political polarization present in those tweets. Another trend that can be studied is health and crisis communication. This can focus on how language is used during health emergencies and crises. Recent past, for example, in COVID-19 pandemic communication can be investigated. How, for example, studying government press briefings to see how uncertainty is managed in public messaging. And other trend that can be studied is intellectual and cross-cultural discourse. And other analysis that can be done is related to intercultural and cross-cultural discourse. This can focus on global communication and migration that affect use of language. For example, workplace discourse in multinational companies mixing English with local languages. How the local languages mixed with national language, international language like English. For example, glocal, global plus local. Another trend that can be used to investigate discourse is political and media discourse used in the era of disinformation. This focuses on fake news, the propaganda, and biased framing to influence public opinion. For example, studying how fact-checking organizations pre-frame misleading political claims, how the fakes propaganda news were framed through different stakeholders, including social media or political activists or print media and so on, and how the fact check organizations present that. Another trend that can be used to analyze discourse is discourse and through artificial intelligence. For example, how AI generated content changes communication norms. What are the communication norms used in a human language and how it is different in machine language or AI generated language or discourse. For example, we can study the differences between human written and AI written newsletters or articles. We can use different data sets to see authenticity, authorship, and trust in digital discourse. Another trend that can be used to study discourse is identity and intersectionality in discourse. It focuses on race, gender, class, religion, and sexuality intersect in language or used language. For example, analyzing online forums where marginalized countries negotiate identity. The last trend we will discuss in this lecture is environmental discourse. This is used to analyze how language frames environmental challenges. For example, comparing climate change versus climate crisis, narratives in international media, the narrative relating to the climate change and climate crisis. If we could sum up, to conclude what we have discussed in this lecture, discourse studies is expanding beyond traditional talk to include digital, visual, and AI-mediated communication. So there is a growing emphasis on global issues, identity politics, and technology's impact on language. Methods are increasingly interdisciplinary, blending in linguistics, sociology, media studies, and computational analysis. We have seen that what are the latest trends that can be used to study discourse analysis. I hope you have understood it. If you have questions, please write in the comment box. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel. If you get something useful, please like the video and share it. Thank you. Take care.